one and all present. There is a powerful driving force inside every human being that, once unleashed, can make any vision, dream, or desire a reality. I, Kinza Rahman, on behalf of the entire team of Awas Foundation, extends a warm and heartfelt welcome to one and all present here. We at Awas Foundation envision the world as a just and equitable place where the underprivileged no longer feels directionless. In a society that always hits those bottom of the economic pyramid, the hardest whenever a crisis hits. We aim to bridge the gaps of inequality on all levels through optimistic spirit and unwavering efforts. As we know that June is the Pride Month, it is a month dedicated to celebrating the LGBTQ plus community all around the globe. The Pride Month is celebrated in commemoration of the Stonewall riots, which kicked off the first major demonstration of gay rights in America. But unfortunately, due to the COVID 19 pandemic and social distancing still in place, things will be a little different this year. But we believe that these shall not hinder our celebration, and therefore we will be celebrating Pride virtually this year with our esteemed guest speaker who have joined us today. Now, I would like to call Ms. Laiba Rahman, founder of the Awaz Foundation, to address the gathering.
Thank you so much, Kinza. Hello, everyone. I would like to extend a hearty welcome to all of you for joining our Pride Month webinar through the meeting as well as live on Facebook. Gay Pride or LGBT Pride is the promotion of the self-affirmation, dignity, equality, and increased visibility of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people as a social group. Pride, as opposed to shame and social stigma, is the predominant outlook that bolsters the LGBTQ rights movements. We are happy to organize this webinar as a means to promote and to have a platform to discuss about such an imperative topic. Thank you everyone for joining, and I hope this session is fruitful for all of you. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our guest speaker, Ms. Shaine Soni. She's been Miss Trans Queen India 2020 and 21. She is also a beauty stylist, a beauty pageant coach, and a celebrity coach as well. Welcome. Over to you. You're on mute.
Thank you so much, Laiba. First of all, thank you everybody for being present here. And it is an absolute pleasure to be a part of this webinar. As you know, earlier your colleague mentioned about the Pride Month. I think it is a wonderful, wonderful month of celebration. And to me, Pride is all about, I think Pride Month is all about celebrating the, who you are. It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't cater to a community or a section of society. I think it is about, how proud you are about your achievements. It could be a homemaker or could be anybody, a professional, a doctor. I think it is about, and especially this year, due to ongoing pandemic, I think we should be all proud about, our existence and the survival, the strength that we have from within to survive, and how the global community has come together, and we are all fighting it as one. So I think that makes this year more special.
Thank you. We would now like you to tell about your story. From where did you start? How did you begin your journey, and everything that you've achieved? We would definitely want to hear that from you.
Okay, sure. I was born and raised in New Delhi, which is the capital city of our country. And just as any other child, I was born, and I was living happily with my, and with the cocoon that my parents had created for me, which was all safe, which every child has in a way, with, through the parents. And it was at a very early age in my life when I was made to realize that there's something wrong with me. Something wrong as in, as a child, I could not draw the difference between a male gender and a female gender I'm talking about when I was 7. So, it is very difficult for a child to understand what is a male gender and a female gender at that age. So at that time, I was made to believe that okay, there is something wrong. Why? Because I had a lot of feminine, like a lot of effeminate behavior, like a little feminine, body language, and the way of speaking, and to enlighten everybody. When I was born, I was a male. The gender that was assigned to me at my birth was male. So I did not know about what was a male and a female, as I mentioned. So the whole behavior, the whole body language, and the whole outlook towards life was a little different for me, where I used to love doing all the feminine things which society has labeled. Um, and then I think eventually when people started picking up on me, they started calling me names. They started telling me that, okay, you were a boy, you were born as a boy, and you're supposed to behave, and you're supposed to be in a certain way. And eventually, when things started growing over me, and when my parents, my relative, they started noticing that, okay, this is getting too much. So in fact, a lot of my relatives and even my school teachers suggested my parents to visit a psychiatrist, which according to them could help me um, you know uh, be more masculine than what I was supposed to be. So they told my parents that I think and the psychiatrist told my parents that I need more masculine influence in my life. And to my surprise, I always had all my cousins, all my my elder brother. I always had brothers around me. So which eventually to forced my parents to not to let me play with Barbie dolls, and rather push me to play cricket, which I tried from my to my best. I tried playing cricket. I tried going out, spending time with boys, and being in their company rather than having friends who were girls. But eventually I realized that that is also not helping me. I still am not happy, and I'm still not feeling who I am from within. So it became troublesome. It became troublesome for my parents, where eventually people started, bullying them instead of me. They thought that, okay, I am being shameless when I am not listening to them. And people here, I mean to say, my relatives, my parents, my both my parents were working, so their colleagues, my cousins, my friends, everybody started picking up on me and my parents both. And I was probably I was given a tag to be probably shameless, that you're not listening and you're not fitting into the stereotypical boy behavior. Where eventually I realized that it is high time for me to not make my parents go through all that, which they do not deserve. And I thought of moving ahead, and I thought of leaving the house, and I thought of going and taking my education as something that could help me build what I want to build for myself. And at the age of 17, I left my house and I took admissions in NIFT, which is National Institute of Fashion Technology. And I happened to um, that is one space which happens to give, it gave me so much of comfort. And I felt really relaxed, and I felt that, okay, I have finally come to a place where I can be who I want to be. And thereon the journey really started when I came across I learned about SRS, which is sex reassignment surgery, much earlier. I used to research a lot about it during my school days also. But in NIFT, my horizons, my mental horizons were broadened, and I could figure out that, okay, there are ways to convert your sex. And it is very strange to a lot of people. It might just come across as very strange, but let me tell you what a transsexual is all about. A transsexual person is about, it is as simple as you're born with a certain gender physically, but the gender of your soul doesn't match the gender of your body. And the whole journey of a trans person, it could be a male to female or a female to male. It is about just making your the gender of your soul meet the gender of your body. So this is the whole journey. And this is what I decided, that, okay, finally, when I know the resources, I have the resources, I have the knowledge, I want to start the process. And during that process, okay, you know, as a, you know, I, as somebody who actually earlier didn't know much technical side to it, but then when I came across, so, you know, you start with a psychological test, which according to, you know, the sex, you know, there are, you know, little technicalities here, where to undergo HRT, which is hormonal replacement therapy. We all know that, you know, our bodies are made of estrogens and testosterons, which are the hormones. But it depends, you know, in the female body, there are more estrogens than testosterons. And in a male body, there are more testosterons than estrogens. But here, to undergo HRT, which is hormonal replacement therapy, you have to undergo a psychological test where they decide that whether are you eligible to be a girl or not, in my case. So I cleared my psychological test and I started my HRT, which is hormonal replacement therapy, where I, and trust me, that is one of the toughest phase of life, where, you know, you actually, not just mentally, but physically also, you feel a lot of difference inside your body. And there have been massive mood swings. There have been crazy, you know, lonely feeling, and you know, a lot of depression, because, you know, your complete hormone changes in your body. Like, you know, how probably when you're at teens and when you hit your puberty, you understand that, you know, there are a lot of hormonal changes, and it over the years we all experience that. But imagine that kind of thing, it happens massively in your body during the HRT. So that is one very vulnerable phase for any trans person. And then, you know, this was simultaneously, I was going through my physical change. And professionally, if I talk about, I studied at NIFT, and right when I was graduating out of NIFT, I won a reality show on Zoom TV called Let's Design Season 2. And I happened to win the show, and I was lucky enough to grab an internship with WGSN, which is world's best fashion forecasting agency. And I went to Hong Kong to intern with them, and I came back. I started my label. My label was called Nude, a new urban design empire, where I was designing leather lingerie. And I am probably the only designer in Asia who does leather lingerie. And thereafter, then, you know, I eventually got into styling films and styling celebrities. And eventually, you know, my interest in beauty pageants have always been there. And you know, very strangely, it is after winning Miss Trans Queen India, that is exactly when I actually spoke about myself openly. Before that, not many people knew about me, that I am a trans woman. It was not just that I was not comfortable talking about it. It was just that I thought it wasn't necessary for people to know who I am, because, you know, it is again, it is very personal. You know, you do not share what happens in four walls. Similarly, for me, you know, it wasn't about putting a tag on myself. It is just that, you know, I was working, I was professional enough to, you know, deliver what I was required to. And apart from that, only a very few people who were close to me knew about it. But then the organizer of Miss Trans Queen India, Reena Rai, she was in Thailand last year for Miss International Queen. And from there, she called me. She's like, Shaine, I want you to come here and represent India. And, you know, there's always been this dream of, walking a ramp, international ramp, wearing a sash that says India. So I thought, you know, why not? Like, you know, I took up the title, and I thought that it is high time that, you know, if I come and share my story with people, and if it could help even one little child who's, you know, who's going through the whole suppression, and who's dealing with the whole gender dysphoria. So I think it would be a great thing. And trust me, I was a little scared also, that, you know, I didn't want to really speak about myself, because we live in a society where people get judgmental. But at the same time, I also realized that, okay, I have a responsibility, where now that I have achieved certain things in my life, I think it is high time for me to come out and speak about who I am and share my story. And I'm overwhelmed. I'm glad that my story. When actually people read about it, there are a lot of people who hooked up to me. There are a lot of people who sent me messages. There are a lot of people who called me and they said that okay, it gave them strength. It gave them a lot of hope to do better in their lives. And I think my purpose of actually sharing about myself was met at that very moment. And I'm glad that I am getting a chance to represent our country, a beautiful country, and the trans women of our country, which are always looked down upon from many years. The condition in our country for trans people are very, very bad. But there's always a silver lining where I think things have changed a lot in last couple of years. But still, when you go abroad, I have traveled extensively, and when you go abroad, people still assume that Indian trans women are all about clapping on the roads, or probably they're into prostitution or very stereotypical profession, which you could relate to trans women. But then I wanted to show them that no, things have changed a lot in our nation. And women, trans women, if they're given opportunities, they're doing absolutely amazing their own in their own fields. And today we have so many trans women who are doctors, who are in who've cleared IPS, who are into civil services, who are in corporate world. So it feels really amazing that the whole community has come forward so much. And we are on road to progress. And I think over the next few years we see really a lot of good things coming up for the whole community. And I think I am extensively proud of each and every trans woman or a trans man who's done wonderfully well and made themselves and the whole country proud. And I look forward to represent India at Miss International Queen, which is going to be held in Thailand. They are yet to announce the finale dates. So looking forward to put my best foot forward and bring the best version of myself on an international platform where I would love to show them that what Indian trans women are all about. It's not just what people assume, and it's not just about what people have seen trans women doing. So I think it is about when you get an opportunity, you make the most out of it. And I have done that in my life, and I'm so proud of myself. And this is exactly what I'm going to show to the world.
Thank you so much. I mean, these are an absolute words of wisdom. And we are, when we hear stories like this, it actually imbibes in us a feeling of confidence, right? Which we initially lacked for whatever thing we want to achieve, right? And your story is actually very inspirational, because you wanted to make a change. And when we say that we will make a change, it really sounds very fictitious, but then you've actually tried your best to bring about the change. When you say that you're representing India on an international platform, I don't think there is any pedestal better than that. That's the
you know
match.
I always say that and it is not just about you reading it or you quoting it. When Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you really want to see in the world, I think that is exactly, I have come across so many sad stories, and I have had my sad story as well, but then I do not want to portray that. I always like to see the brighter side of the coin, or where I always say that I started seeing the world differently. And that's when the difference came in my life, and I started seeing it positively. I never gave anybody chance to walk over me, and that's why probably I had the resilience to come out of all the miseries in my life. And I think that little positivity, that little perseverance can take you to places. And I think whenever I speak about myself, I always tell them that uh, it is, I never want to put down the miseries, because everyone has their share of miseries in life. We all go through, as human beings, we all go through some or the other problems in our life. But I think what is the need of the hour is to look for solutions. And I think solution is when you look at the brighter side, when you look at the silver lining. And you keep moving ahead. And I think that that change that if you bring in yourself, to very strangely, let me just tell you a little more things. A lot of people ask me, a lot of people from the community ask me that you never come for pride parades, and you never, participate, or you never, probably fight for the rights. I always have said that, I don't need to fight for the right. I have a different view. I have a different school of thought that, I was born equal. I never treated myself differently. I was born equal like anybody else. And that is exactly what I perceived my life to be. And according to me, when you ask for rights from others, you put the other person on a higher pedestrian than you. But for me, I do not put myself higher or lower. I am equal. And this is what equality is for me. That, I don't need to ask rights from anybody to live the life that I want to live. So I always believed in it, and I always went by it. And, this is where I have come so far, with the same belief and the same thought.
That's great to hear. In fact, I am very much, inspired by you. Believe me, when I say this, it wouldn't actually mean that way, but I know from my inner self how it feels to hear stories like this. Because when we actually, think about us, that sometimes there is a point in our life when I'm like, now what will I do? What will happen in future? What am I going to do? But then people say go with the flow, and I
Yeah.
actually get confused, what flow are they talking about? And when I'm actually hearing your story, this is what it means. This is what it exactly means.
And trust me, going with the flow, for me, again, going with the flow is just listening to that inner voice that that, because, since childhood, just because I was abandoned by a lot of friends, and I was abandoned by a lot of people around me, my cousins, everybody. So it gave me a lot of time to spend time with myself, my own self. And that is when I started talking to myself. And that became a habit eventually. And I think that is what we need to learn, that, we need to talk to ourselves to hear our inner voice. And that voice will guide you to the best of you. And I always say that, no matter how people see, but it really matters how you see of you yourself. You know, you don't need approvals from people to live your life. You do not need approvals from anyone to do what you want to do in life. I think your happiness really matters, and it is in your hand. And uh, it is very important just to be yourself. I think that one learning in life, if you learn it, sooner, I think the life is on a road to progress. Because I think learning to be just your own self is very, very difficult. But at the same time, it's very easy, only if you realize it, how to do it.
Right, very, very true. In fact, all of us can relate to it, because there have been times when we actually follow what other people, they tell us. They probably misguide us sometimes, but then we still, we think that no, we'll follow whatever they're saying, because probably whatever they're saying is right. But it's not necessarily true, because the intuitions I personally have noticed the intuitions that actually speak for us, that actually guide us, because there are things which the universe tells us, through our instincts, through our intuitions, but we never realize it. So ये जो बात होती है ना बोलने की कि दिल की सुनो दिमाग से ज्यादा,
Hmm.
सच होती है.
And to me, I think the biggest wisdom in my life that I've received, and that has not been taught to me, it has been received with the experiences, with the kind of life I've had. The biggest wisdom that I've learned is that there's a universe inside us. There's no universe outside. When we look for, when we go through a problem, or when we have any kind of difficulties in our life, we tend to be dependent on others. We tend to look for solutions in the outer space. But trust me, there's a huge universe within your body. This body is, as we say, I'm going a little more, I'm diverting the whole topic into a little more cosmic chat here, where what people have said, that we're made of 5 elements, and those 5 elements actually exist in our body. And that is when I say that, the whole universe exists here, and all the answers are here within you. There's nothing which is in the outer space. And if you actually, if you actually start believing it, if you actually start practicing it, you will realize that there is so much to explore within you, and there's so much, all your answers, all your queries, everything can be answered by your own self.
Right. I mean, I can absolutely relate to it, believe you me. Right. So we'll be taking up questions. All those who wish to ask a
Yes.
question um, may please raise their hands through the Zoom application. Right. So we already have a hand raised. Okay. So Lippy, yeah, go ahead.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
So hope you're doing well and good.
I'm absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So my question is that could you tell us a little more about the HRT test and what changes you went through in the process of transformation? Like what changes you went?
Okay, a very good question and very informative. Okay, so as a trans person, you need to realize first of all that uh, the biggest change that you need is here. You need to change your way of looking at yourself. First of all, most of the cases that I come across during my different projects that I do, there are a lot of people who haven't really, because of of course, the societal pressure, the peer pressure, the family pressure, you tend to live in suppression for many years. And I've seen people who have lived in suppression for so many years that a lot of I have come across cases where a trans woman who could not express herself, was forced to get married, has children, and now, after all that, going through all that, now she's transformed herself. So it is not about what people want you to do. It is, first of all, you have to tell what you want to do. And secondly, it is if you change your mind, change as in, like, if you actually realize what your body says and you have to register that in your mind, it will give you strength to talk about it and to go ahead and start with your process. And the process is different. You know, HRT is hormonal replacement therapy, where you given, like, my case, it was from male to female. So I was given a lot of estrogens, which is different. There are different hormones for your body, for your skin, for your hair. So, all that you take. And then after you complete your HRT is sometimes, for many years. And for some people, it is forever, depending on body to body. And HRT, after HRT, you undergo, probably the first surgery that a lot of people prefer going is the breast augmentation surgery, which is, of course, you grow your bust, and then it is SRS, which is sex reassignment surgery, from where, there are different types of sex reassignment surgery also, where you have, uh, different kind of, depends, you want to go from male to female or female to male, up to, the individual case. And apart from that, there are other surgeries, which is, like, in a lot of cases, it's called female face feminization surgery. There are a lot of people, because they have such loud masculine, let's say, masculine features, that they undergo surgeries to turn them into feminine, more soft features. Similarly, for a lot of female to male cases, there are a lot of female who have a lot of soft features, so they undergo surgeries to get it more masculine. So it depends on individual demand and individual requirement. But in my case, thankfully, I was blessed enough. God was kind enough not to give me two masculine features, and I never went through any female feminization, face feminization surgery. But then, of course, I went through my SRS and my breast augmentation.
But in that case, I must say that you're very, very pretty.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And through this platform, I would also want to point out one fact which I have seen. It is like a trend. How you call it, a trend. So there's a recent trend which has been happening, where a lot of trans women, during my one of my projects, I was just seeing it. A lot of recent, the younger lot of trans women, they are undergoing surgeries back to back, as in like, they go for their breast augmentation and another 3 months they're going for their SRS, their female feminization. So, you have to understand one fact, and it is basic. It is not about a trans person. It is a basic fact that when you undergo a knife, your body takes time to heal from it. And it is not about 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Your complete body takes time, let's say about 2 years, 3 years. So, that kind of, see, being a woman or being what you really want to be is not an overnight thing. It is a journey. It is a process. So you need to be calm. You need to have a lot of patience. You need to have a lot of, whole, holding yourself right in terms of what you really want to do in life. And I think I came across a lot of, I recently have lost a friend of mine. I shared my room with her for almost 7 years. And she underwent a surgery during the COVID times. And, she, right after her surgery, she got COVID and she could not, sustain. And she could not, the body did not have, power or immunity to, fight the virus. So you need to understand that let your body rest, let your body, recover, and then you go, for the change. And it is, again, it is not overnight, it is a process. So be calm and do your homework well, know what you're doing to your body, understand each and every fact, not just what, probably, see, when you go to a sex change, like, when you go to a surgeon or a cosmetic surgeon, see, for them, it is a job and they would want to suggest you different things. But at the same time, nobody, actually, in my case also, nobody came forward and told me that, okay, you should not go for surgeries back to back. They tell you, we'll do it for you, hum karenge, aapko jo karana hai. But then at the same time, you need to do your homework well, do your research well, think before what you do to your body. And that is what we need to understand.
Thank you, ma'am. It answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lipi.
Pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am, for the answer. We'll be taking Hina. Hina, please go ahead.
Hi, ma'am. It's
Hi.
utmost pleasure to have you here, and listening your story. It's so much of inspiring that I'm literally thinking back of my life instances when I took brave decisions, and actually I can relate to so many instances. Like it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of courage to take decisions that you are taking in your life. You have taken and reached where you are. So you are a big inspiration for all the people hearing here to you.
Thank you so much.
And my question to you is that, so over the years you must have faced a lot of decisions and a lot of things. So what has been one turning point where you felt like, yeah, this is the time that I want to do this? Like, what was the turning point which changed your perspective and go ahead with what you accept yourself as what you are?
See, that Hina, that's again a very good question. But then trust me, if I actually look back in time, I do not think there was a turning point as such, because turning point is something that, it is probably, to me, it is like a flip of mind, or it is just that one space or one little incident that, that triggers you to make decision which is life changing. But to me, I think it was a process. It was an eventual thing. I listened to everybody. When I shared that, a lot of people were after, they were bullying me, they were harassing me, they were calling me names, and they, in fact, when my parents were told that, seek medical help and stuff. When I listened to them, when I went along with what my parents wanted me to do, I did that. Still, there was this whole resentment which was coming from inside, where I didn't want to do what people were asking me to do. And that is when I realized that, okay, it is my journey, it is my story, and I am going to write it, nobody else. And that is when I moved out of my house, and I took a stand for myself. And in the process, a lot of people, they say that, okay, it's I also suggested, it is very important to, talk to the parents, but when it happened to me, it was many years back when it happened to me, I did not have strength to talk to my parents because my parents were already going through a lot of, bullying from their, office colleagues and relatives. So I thought they're too innocent to be put into this whole situation. So I'd rather move out of my house and, just go ahead and do what I wanted to do. Because, see, I'll tell you, from a very young age, I fostered this very strong value to value myself more than anybody. So I think that made me so courageous. That made me so, it gave me a lot of power and a lot of strength to keep going ahead and, moving forward with what I dream of. And I think dreams are things that keeps you moving. To me, at least personally, whenever I dream, it is not about like a big dream, even a small dream, your small desires, your small wants. I think these are things that keeps you moving. And a turning point definitely would, if I actually have to frame it, would be when I moved out of my house and I stood for myself.
Thank you for answering my question. Just one follow-up question to this is, like, you talked about a lot of bullying that you faced and a lot of things like society not accepting you. So what do you think we as youngsters, because the era has changed and now we people talk openly about all these things and we do accept everyone as equal. Like, we really love listening to people who are specially able and who are equal. We see everyone as equal. So what do you think we as youngsters can do to make people realize that they are the part of the society, or we are all equal, we are all human beings above all, and we should not discriminate? What we can do? What do you suggest? What changes we can bring to the society?
Oh, wow, very well put together. That, we definitely have come across, we have come through a lot of changes over the years, and trust me, I really feel very happy when I see a lot of people, especially through the medium such as social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, not just only people from the community, but people from, all general walk of life. They stand for, the LGBTQI plus community, or anybody for that matter, which people have over the years have always looked down upon. But I think there was this question which was asked me somewhere, where they said that, the sections, the abolition of section 377, what are the changes that I think has come across? I think the only change that I've realized that has come after 377 has been removed from the constitution. The only change which I notice has come is, okay, it is okay to have a gay friend or a gay, somebody else having a gay child, but it is not okay to have your own child as gay or a trans. So that is the only difference. The day we realize that it is okay to have a gay child or a trans child in your house, I think that is when the real change will appear. And as youngsters, I am doing a project under one of our NGOs. It's called the Deepa Ardhanareshwar Foundation, where we are doing a lot of gender sensitization workshops. And one of the projects that I am working on, where we look forward to, to file, a PIL, where we want gender education to be a part of school curriculum. Because as Miss Trans Queen India, I was asked that what project that I want to work on. So I have always emphasized on education. I believe that I cannot make a poster, or I can't hold a tag and just stand on roads and ask for rights. That's not my way of working. I think I want gender education to be a part of school curriculum, because I realize for a fact, I'm sensitive enough to realize the fact that the person who bullied me in my school, even that person I cannot complain to, because even he or she was unaware of what different genders are all about. Because since the beginning, since our childhood, we've been forced to only know that there are existence of male gender and a female gender. So people do not have knowledge about coexistence of different gender. So the guy who bullied me was unaware, was not maybe, I have to give him a benefit of doubt. So that is when I realized that, okay, it is important that these values have to be fostered from a very young age, that, people should realize that, if it is taught in school that there are existence of different gender. So people will be more sensitive towards, the other genders. And also I would want this to be a part of, teacher training programs, because a lot of teachers were rude to me when I was studying, when they did not like my effeminate behavior. So I think, that if that kind of education comes across teachers also, and they should be treating all their children, all the students equally, and, irrespective of their gender. And, gender is something which is not to be, it should not be a reason for anybody to look down upon you. And it should just come from very young age, I believe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering that.
My pleasure.
Thank you. We'll be taking up the next question from Vrinda. Vrinda, please go ahead.
Hi. Firstly, I'm in awe of you, your confidence, your beauty, your nails, your sari, every single thing about you.
Thank
And
you
I'm
so
feeling
much. Thank you.
so much blessed to be here. I heard your story and this made my day. And I'm not lying, to be really, really honest. I mean, I really got a new perspective today. And with that, my question is, we see like whenever someone like bullies us and oppresses us, and we sort of like let it go, but once we sort of become a big name, they come back to you apologizing. So I just wanted to ask you, has it happened to you that people
Yes,
who
certainly.
bullied or oppressed you coming back and saying, oh, you're this big name, and how did you deal with that and how it felt? Yeah,
Certainly.
your parents as well.
Yeah, certainly this has happened to me. I was very scared, as I mentioned, that I never, not scared, but then I was never aware of, I never spoke about myself much. I never used my gender or my, existence as a, claim to fame ever in my life. There were a lot of people who knew about me, a lot of friends who are journalists and all. They wanted me to talk about me, share my story, which I was very uncomfortable, but not just because of, that, okay, I'm not accepting myself. No, it wasn't that case with me. It was more of that, okay, I don't want people to judge me of my gender, because, the moment gender comes in between, people start looking, oh my God, because I've had that kind of experience where I tried to open up to certain people, and okay, there was this massive difference where, you're talking to somebody on a social media, and they're very nice to you, and suddenly you feel that you can share your heart out and you can share about you. And I tried doing that, and there, it's like, oh my God, really? Are you trans? I'm like that kind of, and it is kind of very demotivating for a person. So that was probably one of the reasons that I never spoke about myself. And it was on the day of my crowning, which was 19th of December 2020. And I was crowned, and I was partying really hard that evening. I was with my friends, best of my friends were there. I was celebrating. I got sloshed and I was sleeping. The next day I woke up, and it was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And Reena Rai, who's the organizer of Miss Trans Queen India, she's calling me. She's like, have you checked your social media? Just get on Facebook, get on Instagram. And I was so scared, because the moment I was crowned, that was the moment I actually wrote Miss Trans Queen India on my Instagram, on my Facebook. And I was a little scared of bullying, bullying as in like people troll you on internet. And that is, I think, one of the most trending things these days, that, the moment you, you do anything different, either they make memes of it, or, they try and troll you. It is just a way of, I think, people pulling you down. But the moment I opened my social media, oh my God, the kind of response, the kind of love, the kind of, positivity I received, I cannot even express that how overwhelmed I was. And I think the lot of people from my school, they started messaging me. A lot of my relatives who have not spoken to me in last 1 decade, they started calling me. My school teachers, they started messaging me on Facebook, Instagram, and the kind of positive words which were coming through them, that, oh my God, we are so proud of you. You're doing so good. We never knew that, so, it was that, it was that one moment where you felt, oh my God, like, all that hard work, all that, tears and all that resilience that I had to face the life and to move ahead. I think it is all paid off. And it is all paid off. It's just that, sometimes victory is also about, you do not fight. You just sit back and, let people see what you're doing and let them come and approach you with positivity and with all the love, which probably I never fought with anybody that, okay, why are you not talking to me? Why? Because it was their choice at that point. And now it is again their choice that they want to come back. And when people come back to you, you need to have a big heart and, welcome them with an open arm. And that's exactly what I did. And, one of the biggest surprises for me was when the owner of my school called me, and they called me and they said that we would want you to come as a chief guest for annual day. And they want to have like a huge picture of me in the school as one of the most successful, alumni. So I think that is the achievement I would call for, like, and I think all those loneliness, all that, feeling of getting abandoned, and all those rejections in life um, meant nothing at that moment. And I think it was all paid off that, you know, they came back with all the love and positivity.
Even seeing you speak and hearing you out, this gives us a positive vibe. I mean, I don't know, there's something very, very positive about today. Just like a few minutes ago, few hours back, somebody asked me, how's your day going? So I said, bad. And now, I mean, I feel so positive about everything. I don't know, I mean, anything, even I think anything which will be evilish or something which will happen wrong in my life, in some way, I'm sure that I'll consider the glass as half full rather than being as half
Then
empty.
yeah.
So
And I think, and likewise, it is okay to feel bad at times. I think when you feel bad, only then you start realizing the good. And I think it is okay. I think we all have had bad days, and that is what makes us human beings. And one bad day, to me, I always believe that if I'm having one bad day, it is going to come back with, I don't know how many good days, and I'm going to keep appreciating it.
right. And in fact, I've noticed this one thing. So whenever you achieve something in life and you, become like a personality, people want to really, talk to you, be with you. But there's a point when, there is also a group of people who would always be jealous of what you're doing, who will always hate you for whatever you're doing. And that is something which should not put you back. That is something, which should actually boost confidence in you and not condemn you from what your potential exactly is. And I think that, overcoming all our obstacles is that one thing which plays a key role in becoming successful. And that's
You
very much
know,
evident from your
I
story.
was I in one of the recent interviews of Priyanka Chopra, she happened to mention that, no matter how well you do in life, there will be somebody who will be unhappy. So you do not think about that. You think about people who are happy, where your contribution is towards life, towards your existence. And I think that's what matters. That it's okay, you're not here to make everyone happy, but at least if you change one life, and that makes a lot of difference. It makes a huge difference.
In fact, long back, I would like to mention this. I mean, since we've already got this into consideration, there was a teacher of mine. She used to be my English teacher. I mean, now that I've graduated from my school. So there was some competition and there was something wrong going on. So she said that, Laiba, just take it, accept it how it is. So I said, ma'am, no, if I don't fight for it today, I will lose it. So she's like, you are fighting for it, and later on when you actually achieve that achieve that goal which you were actually working for, you'll tell everyone that this thing was not served to me on a platter. I worked for it.
I worked for it. Yes.
That's what, and that's what makes you feel good about things that are happening around you. because there have been times when I felt really gloomy. I felt like the world is stagnant and everything is getting over. So these things, that is why all of us, we feel honored to have you, because hearing your story, it is making me feel that no, never give up for anything and always keep trying. So I mean, that's, I can't even express my feeling as of now, but I can't actually put it in words. But this is how we feel today. We'll be taking, yeah, so we have another question. We have the next question coming up from Kinza. You didn't mute.
Yes. So first,
You're on mute.
I just need one moment. I
Yeah,
think my battery is running out. I don't know. I did not realize. I'm just putting it on charging. Give me one moment.
yeah, sure.
Parsi, जो वहाँ से देखे ना, क्या कहते हैं, extension cord. Just get me an extension cord, Parsi.
Other than Kinza, all those who wish to ask questions may please raise their hand and we'll recognize you thereafter.
After Kinza Library, please allow me to ask the question. I can't see raise hand option.
All right.
So,
Noted.
Yes, I'm fine now. Yeah. So
Loaded.
sorry for that.
No, that's perfectly all right. Since coronavirus has entered into our lives, we're actually trying to, learn how to operate, these applications, and putting our phones on charging thrice a
Uh,
day.
abs- Absolutely. And it was, I did not actually realize that my battery was really low when I started this, but then it's okay now, like around absolutely fine.
This is actually very much, this can be exemplified by, we mentioned about going with the flow. We were so much into it.
Yes.
We were so much engrossed in the discussion. We were so grateful and, honored to listen to you. And you were so involved in your story that you didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll be
Yes.
having the next question from Kinza. Yeah, please go ahead.
yes. So first of all, I would like to say that you're really beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very
Now,
sweet of you.
yes. So now I would like to ask it. How did you feel when you won Miss Trans Queen India 2020? And do you think your achievement has paved a way for others to embrace their identity and gain confidence?
See, I think the moment the crown came on my head, it was a very strong sense of belonging. It was a very strong sense of, okay, wow, this is. It's not just about being trans queen. It is also about that. I've had this crucial interest in pageantry from a very young age. Just like any other little girl, I always wished to be Miss India since my childhood. I grown up watching Aishwarya Rai, Sushmita Sen, Lara Datta, everybody. So it was always this thing that, okay, wow, I am a beauty queen now. That strong sense of belonging that I had the moment the crown came on my head. And at the same time, I think I'm the fourth winner of Miss Trans Queen India. I think it paved a way to a lot of young trans women the very first time when the pageant was organized. I think uh, and to inform you all, for last 3 years I was the chief mentor for Miss Trans Queen India. So I've trained the last 3 girls who've represented India internationally. I've trained the other contestants who were part of Miss Trans Queen India. So I always see that you do not live your life to be an inspiration, or you do not live your life to be uh, you know uh, just to being a little selfish here to motivate others. I think when you really live your life to its fullest and you live your life for your own self, it becomes meaningful for others, because you are true to your life, you're true to yourself, and that becomes inspiration to others. That pave way for a lot of people to keep growing that way. A lot of people that, okay, if she can, then we also can. So I think that is the sense that uh, that is one way of going ahead in life. And I think to me it was never about, okay, I'm going to leave a legacy for others. It was just that it was my moment, and I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to live it. I think I have never smiled that much ever in my life, because my cheeks were hurting. By the end, I was dancing. I had that whole feeling of just having that sash and that crown on your head was so beautiful that it took me time to first let that feeling sink in me. I was like, oh my god, like now I am a title holder, and I am somebody that I am now getting a chance to represent our nation. And that has been like a long lost dream. Lost why? Because I gave up on that dream, because I never thought that I'll take up a title. I have always been a mentor. So that whole feeling was, I think, very personal, and I enjoyed it. And I think when you enjoy things, when you really appreciate things, I think then people around you start enjoying it. And when people look up to you, with that kind of you automatically become an inspiration, because there are very few people who actually have strength to live their life the way they want to. So that becomes I think that becomes very that's holds source of strength and inspiration for others.
Thank you so much. And even we feel proud of you, because we feel proud as well as honored, because having a celebrity like you amongst all of us sharing her story, it feels so good that it absolutely cannot even be put in words.
It's an absolute pleasure.
In fact, the whole Avas Foundation team is grateful to you for that.
Oh, I'm so glad. And I see everybody smiling, and it makes my day beautiful.
That's so kind of you. Right, we'll be taking the next question from Bhavanshi. Bhavanshi, please go ahead.
Thank you, Laiba. All right. So, ma'am, the day I came to know that you will be coming and addressing the session, I knew about you. I heard your name, but I didn't know your story, your struggles, and everything. So I did quite a research. I won't butter it up for sure. I did research, and I know I came to know. But I was like, oh my God! It is so reassuring. It is so like the word that Rinda said now, that you have made us awe to you, like it is actually true. We are so great that you are here, and it brings me a great pleasure. And you're not just a beautiful person, you're a beautiful soul that makes you more beautiful. So thank you so much, ma'am. And for my question, it will be that you yourself went through a lot of complicated process for your own sexual identity, maybe your own thinking, maybe people saying. So it was a complicated process for you itself. So how would you advise the people to, understand their own sexual identity? What are the feelings? What are the things that you went through that made you understand that, okay, I'm not made for this role which I am given, which I'm assigned to. I need to do something different. I need this what I have to do. So what was that made you realize, and what will be that advice to your generation?
See, as I mentioned earlier, that they were I was forced to do certain things. I was made to play cricket. I was made to wear boyish clothes. I was made to boyish, because I'm just quoting all these words because that's how it came to me. I never think dressing is has anything to do with gender. Personally, I do not really believe that, but it all came like that to me. So, again, at that time, I did what people suggested me to do. I went by, their words. I just to make my parents happy, because you as a child, you don't want to hurt your parents, because sometimes you also believe that, okay, when everybody around you, everyone around you, including your psychologist or a psychiatrist, saying that, okay, you have a problem. So you tend to believe them. You tend to, okay, literally believe that, okay, there is a problem in me. So I did what they wanted me to do, which I thought is a solution to my problem. But eventually, what I realized was it is not helping me. It might just help them. And that's when I drew a line between their happiness and my happiness. So that is when I realized, okay, it is not, life is not about making others happy. It is about making yourself happy first. When you are happy, my parents didn't want me, they didn't want to force me to do all the things that they expect a boy to do to make me unhappy. They wanted always my happiness, which I realized from their actions and what they were expecting out of me, that okay, are you happy? My dad used to ask me, are you happy? My mom used to ask me, but then I saw that they were feeling that okay, I am not happy. And what was making me happy, I sat and I realized that okay, if not that, then what? And that's when I realized that okay, no, I want to be who I want to be. If I like putting nail paints, I want to do that. If I like growing my hair, I want to do that. If I like to try my mother's sari, I want to do that. And if that is making me happy, I want to do that. And this is exactly what I followed, and this is what I would want people also to realize, that but there's also another thing to it, that there's lot of uh, a lot of hatred, a lot of backlashing, a lot of bullying that comes with it, and not everybody is strong enough to take it. So I always say that's why my whole program towards gender education started, when I sat and realized that I probably had that strength to fight the odds and not to lend my ears to unnecessary. So I want, not everybody can do it. There are a lot of children who are not strong. We were talking about it in a meeting where we come across a lot of young trans kids who tried committing suicides, who ran away from their home, who went under severe depression. They became bipolar. They had a lot of issues. So we thought that not everybody has strength. And if I am talking about my story, if it can give strength to one person, of course that purpose is met, but that is not going to solve the problem. So the problem will be solved when people around them will be sensitive enough. So that is why the whole gender education program started. And I still say that it is okay not to be okay. But when you are not feeling okay, I think it is important to talk, and maybe if you cannot talk to your parents, you cannot have one person that you can see. Usually all these things, all the depression comes when we start keeping things inside us. We need to talk it out. We need to, if not anyone, just seek help from a stranger. I think we are so blessed to live in an age where we have social media, where you do not want to talk to your parents, your friends, your family, nobody that you know. There are helpline numbers for the LGBT, the betterment of LGBTQI plus community. It's just Google away. You just need to type the helpline number, you get that. I have told people to reach out to me. In fact, yesterday, I was just talking to this one person who sent me an Instagram DM that, she's also transitioning, and she's from Pune, and she happened to mention that I wish you could reply me once. And I checked her profile. I said, hi, love. And she was like, oh my God, you replied. I said, yes, why not? And she's like, I feel so lonely and depressed and I have nobody to talk to. I said, you have me. You have me. Please feel free to reach out. And that is exact. See, again, I would like to quote here, God also helps those who help themselves. So you need to just help yourself only, just reach out to someone and share your heart. And that someone could also be a stranger. It doesn't matter. And do not expect them to give you a solution. Sometimes just venting out, sometimes just letting things out of your system can also really help. So I always say that, that courage will not again come overnight. That courage and that strength, that it will only come with your determination to achieve what you really want to achieve.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I also have one more question if Laibati allows it.
Yeah,
Is
please
it?
go
Yes,
ahead.
yes, please go
If
ahead.
I'm allows,
Uh,
then everything is okay.
yeah, so but my question is that while working on your project with your organization, you might have encountered a lot of myths about, transitioning, a lot of myths about transgender or LGBTQ community. So what is one myth that you find so absurd and you would like it to be, clear out and put it out that that is not how it works? So what is one thing that you realized over the period and you think that this is not true?
Okay, another thing that usually trans women are taken to be, they can be dragged to bed easily. All right, because this is one fact which has not been highlighted in a lot of, my fellow trans girls who've given their interviews. It is very funny, and I find it very strange and absurd at the same time. I have had, okay, I think I am not, I have always been very humble in certain cases where, as I said, I never spoke about myself. But there were times that, okay, you tend to like somebody on social media and you chat with that person. And I've had that experience where I've been talking to people and they want to take you for fancy dates, and they want to do this, that, all for you. And they say I love you, and in fact, I've come across where people have you know um, sent me marriage proposals on the internet. But the moment I tell them that, okay, I'm a trans woman, okay, okay, when are we meeting? Your house or mine? Or you want me to book a hotel? Or uh, can we have sex? That kind of thing. So I think uh, this is a very personal experience that I'm sharing. And trust me, that is one of the most absurd, uh, uh, you know, feeling. And that is one of the most, I never felt so objectified ever in my life when, these things happened to me, where I only became, I was made to believe that, okay, I'm probably a sex instrument for people, or, people think, a lot of men think that they're easy to drag in bed, you know. So that is one of the things that I would like people to change their mind, because trans women are, they feel like women, they are as women as anybody else. But it is your insensitivity, which is, which, and it's your character that you show, when you say things like that.
Exactly. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I hope you talking about it, us talking about it, puts it out there, and people understand it over the period of time and come to a realization that this is wrong. So thank you.
Yes, they will. I always say that, in our country, women are fighting so much. So trans women have a little longer way to go.
Right. And with this, I also would like to mention, since we're live on Facebook, that this is a platform where we're trying to spread awareness. And for all the people who have, a really weird thought about the LGBTQIA plus community, and for that matter, any individual who doesn't, who is not similar to what we all are. I mean, who don't find us to be similar, they need to change their minds. That is one thing which they absolutely need to work upon,
and
because
and trust me, when they say they feel sorry for me, I absolutely, the feeling is mutual. Trust me, I feel sorry for them.
right, exactly. I mean, you've achieved so much. In fact, you can tell them that, that's what I feel, that whenever they say we feel sorry for you, so please Google about me, you'll get to know. Because that's how people are. That's what they deserve. Because if they can't respect what you're doing, and if they can't respect everything that you've achieved, even though you've faced so many difficulties, and there have been impediments on your throughout your journey, and if they can't accept this, then I don't think that what we can do with them. The only thing that can help them is making them understand, and that's what we, on our level best, we're trying to do, right? And hearing you makes us feel that there was this one dialogue that, if there's one thing you love the most, right, the whole, if you want it from your heart, the whole world conspires to, the whole universe conspires to give that to you. That's a very famous dialogue from Shah Rukh Khan's
Yeah.
movie Pantheon.
And that universe is within you. I
Within-
said that the universe is because you're from your, from the tip of your nail till the tip of your hair, from toenail, from your hair, this whole thing is your universe. And I think if you really want anything, you can achieve it. It's nothing difficult.
Right. And that one thing which also acts as a catalyst for you to achieve anything in life is a support of that one person. Even if if there isn't a group of people who are supporting you, it doesn't matter. But if there's one person who can fight the world for you, I think that's the best. So,
I think I found that person in the mirror.
oh really? that that's that's great. I mean, um, all of us will try our level best to find that one
Yeah.
person.
It is. I would like to share one small incident. I was shooting with Ranbir Kapoor for a film, and I was going through little personal issues due to something happened in my life. And I've always been like this chirpy, full of pranks and jumping around kind of a person. And especially during the shoots and all, so I used to be always like very chirpy and funny on the sets. And there was this one day when I was just very sad and serious, and and when you happen to work with somebody for like last 30 days we were together, and suddenly you see, okay, there's some change in a person. So I was in a vanity, and I just gave him his change, and he's like, is everything okay? I said, yeah. He's like, no, I am talking about not here, but generally in your life. I said, yeah. I was like, what? Like, no, it's like, I don't intend to snatch this sad feeling out of you. I just want to tell you something, that please, whatever you're going through, I don't want to know, but start doing one exercise. I said, what exercise are you talking about? Like, I think he's going to ask me to lift some dumbbells or I don't know what. So very funnily, he said, whenever you get up in the morning, even before brushing your teeth or, having a cup of tea or anything, just rush to a mirror or keep a small mirror under your pillow and just look into the mirror and start your day, look into your eyes and start your day with an I love you. And I was like, what the hell? What stupid, like this life is not Bollywood. Like I literally, I thought I did not have guts to say it on his face. I was like, okay. And then I came and I started actually doing that. And I did it for like first few days. I felt so weird. I was like, what the hell am I doing to myself? And what stupid things I'm doing to myself? And trust me, when it was about 2 weeks, when I kept doing it, I was regular. That is one fact, that I regularly did it. I actually started feeling good. I actually started having that whole feeling of self-love again. And after, I think I remember 22 or 23 days when I did that, I felt so liberated. I felt so amazing about my own self. And I thought that it doesn't matter, whatever happens in my life, if I have me with myself, there's nothing that I can't fight. There's no odds that I can't fight. And I think that gave me a lot of strength over the years. And that's when I say that, that one person I found in the mirror.
We're all going to follow Ranbir sir's uh, instance. I mean, we're all going to look into the mirror every day and say, I love you. And
Yeah,
we're surely
please
going to do that.
try it. Please try it. And trust me, it really works. And it's a tried and tested formula.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, we're all in for it, all of us. And, after listening to you and after listening to your story, I think if that doing was just for 80%, now it becomes 100. That completes. And I mean, I again would like to thank you for being a part,
An
answering to all our.
absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. Trust me, and seeing all these smiling faces, it makes my day so beautiful. And I feel so happy that, at least, there are people who always look for ears. And I think I have so many now.
Oh, in that case, you have thousands and thousands, believe me. I mean,
Yeah.
and we all pray that it goes to millions and billions.
I'm
So
glad. I think God is very kind.
touch wood, touch wood. Right. So Kinza, over to you.
I, Kinza Rahman, on behalf of Abbas Foundation, would like to extend a hearty vote of thanks to Shaine Soni for such an insightful and interactive session. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would also like to
Pleasure.
thank all our sponsors for their support and my volunteers for helping me organize the event. Last but not the least, I thank all the attendees for participating in this webinar. We are grateful for having this session where we could come together and talk about and discuss openly, hoping that we all take back something really helpful from this webinar.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And we're looking forward to watch your movie super duper soon and meet you in person if that's a possibility
Yes.
from your busy.
Absolutely, it'll be a great pleasure to meet you all, and keep praying that I'll be going and representing India,
All
and all your support, all your good wishes are going to really help me do wonders, and I'm going to put my best foot forward, and I'll try and bring the crowd back to India.
Absolutely. And I am very sure that you representing our country on an international platform will definitely change the minds of the people and spread awareness in every way possible, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for
My
joining.
pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you.